Um, Hi viewers, welcome back to another episode of Breakfree Podcast, the podcast where we talk about the business world, motivation, like in young people. We're at a new location at Science Media House. So we also in Atlantis. And yeah, guys, please like and subscribe. We're also on Facebook and on YouTube. So guys, this podcast is about a guy who's 9 to 5 and he changed his way into building Science Media House. And so guys, if you want to be interested in this is a guy who transforms modeling, who is a photographer and is building his own brand. So stay tuned and stay in tech. So Shane, tell the viewers who you are.
Hi guys, so my name is Shane Walk and I am originally from Atlantis. I'm a twin. I'm 21 years old and I am gay.
You're just getting it out there.
Yeah, putting it out there. If you want me, you want me.
Okay. Shane, what was the if you before we get into it, just tell us more about your background. Like, where did you go to school? Did you work? Take us through that phase of your life.
Okay. So I am born and raised in Atlantis, guys. I'm fully Atlantean, whatever we call it. But I attended primary school was section C secondary,
Yeah.
primary school, and in high school was section C secondary. I kind of had a very soft life, guys. Like to be honest, I had parents that had a well-earned job. Um, Despite being gay, I was not bullied that much. So I think after I matriculated, I think that is where I started having my own mindset because I mean, the one told me you can't go out alone. You are mentally not okay. And I actually tried going out myself and doing that. I kind of
Did you
shaped my
did
life.
you did you always tend to go into groups?
Yeah, normally I'm a social butterfly, so for me, being a social butterfly and going out alone is actually kind of a weird feeling because what do I do when I go out? So the moment I actually started going out alone is the time I actually start seeing things differently and
Yeah.
got to the point where I am now today.
Okay, so you said you, like I said in the introduction, you were like in doing a 9 to 5. So how was that experience?
It was a very funny experience because that was in the beginning phase of me getting to know myself and unboxing everything, you know. The 9 to 5 was basically, I was okay with it at the beginning. And as time went on, I realized that the store that I worked for, I was a merchandiser, and the store where I worked for, they made a lot of money a day, like millions. And I was like, how am I getting paid 4,500 rand to do so much labor? And these people are making millions in a day. And that was kind of my, oh no, I think I need to do something with my life to at least earn 10,000 or 20,000. But I also realized that I don't like taking not I don't want to say I don't like taking instructions.
Okay.
I like being my own boss.
Who's
Yeah, guys. But basically, I think that kind of made me realize that I don't want to be in the city at all.
okay. So taking of that, when was the moment or when was your break free moment from your 9 to 5 when you take the step to say, okay, I'm going to do this now?
I think I got very much tired, and it was a 3 months contract, and they wanted to renew the contract. So I was like, first thing came to my mind because somebody messaged me at that time, which was the cameraman, messaged me at that time, and I was like, oh my word, you know what? I can actually start being a photographer because I had
Okay.
modeling experiences,
Mm.
and I was like, you know what? So I told the people where I work for, I was like, oh, I got a new opportunity, and that is working as a photographer, which was very weird to me because I was like on the spot. But I realized that I do have a passion for people,
Yes.
in sense of, doing poses. So I was like, okay, I think photography is more my style since I'm already in the industry. So I think that was my breakthrough.
Um, how was the modeling background helping you in confidence both you and your client at the same time when you're on a photo shoot?
So I've realized a lot of things that is the way we carry ourselves and the way we speak to people is the most important thing. And from coming from a modeling industry, you need to be perfect. Like
Okay.
you need to eat healthy, you need to look healthy, you need to sit up
The
straight. Don't look
posture
at
and
all of
stuff.
those type of things because the moment you come in, you yourself are the brand. Whether it
Okay.
is you as a model or you as a regular person from the community, the way you present yourself is very important. So I thought that maybe taking this and giving it back to the community kind of role that because with the post program that I do have, clients kind of walk away confidently knowing that they can step into an interview room being confident, looking confident, because I think most of the time being confident and looking confident is kind of what
Mm.
solves you through going through.
Okay. Going through. Yo, that's
Like
a,
the vibes, scoring the interview, getting that 1 million at the pitch, because everything you say,
mm.
the way you look, people kind of automatically fall for that. You're selling already without even doing a lot.
What was the one personal skill you learned when, or in the hardest way also, when you learn, when you launch Saints Media House?
I think I would say two for
Okay.
now. It is first of all financial part because from I won't say this all colored, but coming from a colored community, we aren't being educated on how to work with finances. So when I started my business, I think I lacked a lot of those skills, how to manage my finances, to see what goes out for what. Because when I left my job, I didn't have income. So that was the most difficult thing, knowing how much to take from the business for yourself. Sometimes you didn't even get a salary. The second thing would be compliance based because there's a lot of things that a business need to have to be compliant to pass certain areas of your business, which again also lead to finances. Let's use SaaS as an example. Most of business owners don't know how to file and don't know the schematics of SaaS, and I think that is where a lot of us fail. So I think with compliance and the finance is the most difficult thing that I had to go through when I started my business.
How did you turn your nervous clients into someone walking and feeling out unstoppable? When you're on a shoot and the client, you see the client is coming in nervous, but you convince the client, and when you walk out the door, he's more confident than when you come in.
I think what I do basically is I start off with the mindset because everything that you let confidence into a mindset that you have, and that's a period, it's a big period. So we start on taking them to let them feel more satisfied with themselves because I think that's the most important thing. Having to know that you look okay, you look
Mm.
beautiful, and I think having to basically sort of all of those things into their mindset just so that they can see themselves differently is what makes it.
Did you ever a client that was like worst, like the worst? Oh, you can must say the
Yeah,
worst experience.
I think it's
But
mostly
you need
male.
to you need to keep your composure because he's paying you and you need to satisfy the client.
Metric balls, guys. Metric balls. I have seen it with a lot of guys. I can't specifically say one person, but most of the guys are like that because they don't really like taking pictures, guys. Let's be honest. Men don't like taking pictures. So for me, having to work with somebody that can't pose, who don't want to because they feel they don't look right and they feel it's gonna look weird and all of those type of things. I think the moment I kind of showed them maybe like one picture of the posing, they kind of felt that, oh wow, I actually look good, and they kind of went on, so that they actually, look more presentable.
When I did some research or when you did tell me your profile, you were also in the Islamic Relief Pits and the City of Cape Town Youth Star Challenge.
Mhm.
What can you give us more of a brief? What is
Okay,
that all about?
so Islamic Relief, they are NPO, NPC, but I know they are a non-profitable organization,
Okay.
and they do a lot of community work. So they approached the college because I
Okay.
attended this was college, and then they obviously told us that there's an incubation program that we need to be a part of. Everybody that's in the entrepreneurial space, when they did our thing. So basically, that is only for people that is a part of the college and people that is a part of like an entrepreneurial club.
Mm.
So if you guys are even interested in that, a lot of money, you know. So you guys can be there, and then they will be the with certificate. Georgina was actually the one that referred me to him because she was one of the previous winners of 2025 certificate New Stock Challenge. I'm currently in the training phase, so hopefully after this, you know, we'll see where I am skilled at because you know I still need to teach for to get a placing.
So how does it work? Is it like you enter and then you need to still do a pitch and then they decide after that?
So you basically enter by giving. They didn't pitch at first, so they gave us this website where we need to basically say what our businesses does, and they basically want to see the scale of your business. Is it a need in the community? Because I think that's most important for people, especially when they do fund. They want to see if you can employ people, so they look at the need for your business,
Okay.
and then from there, they will see, okay, are you generating money? Are your business profitable, basically? And then once that is completed, they will review everybody's portfolio and see, okay, which is what, and then they will let you know if you are like selected or not.
Okay. Um, when things get tough in the business, what keep you motivated every single day?
I'm a manifestationist, so I believe that energies are the biggest thing. So I don't have specifically a coping mechanism, but it's definitely, you know, telling myself that everything happens for a reason because imagine something bad happened and I want to go on. It's not in my control, but I can influence that situation, you know, by being calm, handling it differently. It depends on the situation as well. But I don't specifically have, you know, like a bad side if something bad happens. My coping mechanism is, you know, just relax and take everything as it is.
You say that you are a many.
Manifestationist.
Can you elaborate on that? What is it
Okay,
for the viewers?
so basically, everybody has,
Okay.
I'm probably gonna sound weird to some people, but everybody has a frequency that's the right way. And I don't know if you've realized if you are sad or emotional, and the moment you go onto your social media, you will just get sad videos and all emotional videos is basically your energy being attracted to your chip. So manifestation kind of works the same. So all of us have energies and the universe, which is a gravitational force, kind of pulls the energy. So everything that aligns with what you say, what you ask for, you kind of get that. So that's why I'm always positive and not negative because the moment I am negative, I'm literally attracting a lot of negativity. And it's weird having to believe that, but it's actually so true because I've seen multiple of times where I've just put out positive things, good things, not for myself, but also for my business, and that has been working. You know, I don't want to say it's the same as praying, but the concept is kind of also the same, you know. But let's not tap into that.
Yeah, that's a broad conversation. Um, what struggles did you go through?
So when I started my business, like I've mentioned earlier, I came from a well-raised family with a well-income job. Little before that, COVID came. My mommy left the job because we were supposed to move to Dubai.
Okay.
And as time goes went on, my father was the only person working, and then my brother also got a job. But then it took us one incident. We kind of also lost all of that money. And when I started, my father didn't have money for me to go study because to me, I had like, oh, my father, you know, has money, so he can pay for my private um, studies, you know. And then I found out that he had like a lot of debts, which is weirdly insane because in my mind I was like, my friend, what are you doing? And I realized at that point that things are not going well for us. And I started my business at the same time when there was no money for backup. You know, like nobody was working because my brother left his job, my father left his job, hoping that they can repay their debt. Time went on, and like you know, there were days we it got really tough, and we having to start my business, having to make money so that I can provide for the family. Which was a lot for me because I'm the youngest as well. I obviously kept on being like positive, and then my father got his money, and he was the one who like who invested into my business and was like, here you go. This is for you, like kickstart your business like officially. Because at that time I had one camera, and that
Okay.
camera was not even mine. I was also borrowing that camera.
Yeah.
So he basically kickstarted my business into, like, yeah, this is for you. Go ahead. But money come in, money goes out. So that same time we got the money, basically there was no again financial structure. There was no planning. What are we going to do with that money? And then things just went down the drain again. And like reality basically,
It's like hitting rock bottom.
bro. And it got to the part where I come in here, I would cry and like just like why is this happening to me? I questioned it a lot because I didn't even realize that when I was younger that I would end up here. And I kept on being positive until now. Recently, all of them have a job. My mom is
Okay.
working. I have a twin sister. She's also working. My brother's working. My father recently got a job. And things are getting obviously easier. But I think I've learned from this whole situation that your circumstances actually don't define who you are and what you are and who you're leading to, because um, I've been going through the journey, I don't like this word, but broke and poor. There would be days we don't really have something to eat, and my mom like I had to ask anybody for money. I'm not the type of person that will she about, this is what I feel with and ask my parents for money, because I also have pride. Um, but I think I kind of also learned from it or from it. It's okay to ask, not everybody is living their most happiest life, and there are people struggling. I also came to realize that there are people that are going through things far worse than what I am. I have a roof over my head, their food, their clothes. So sometimes I'm grateful for that. So that is basically my story. Everything has not been perfect for the last 2 years when I started my business, and fate shifted recently. So I'm very grateful for that.
Okay. Um, how do you do, because you are a small business now with a tight budget and still the stuff came out professionally?
I think again it's come to being disciplined. You know, being disciplined, telling yourself the money that you get in, you need to obviously I'm in a space, you need to take all of those things in consideration. We have a quota that we need to have by end of the month. So simple example, I would say that all of my expenses is 6,000 rand. I need to make 6,000 and keep it aside before I have any extra other money. So having all of that, I think it comes back again to discipline, being disciplined, to have a tight budget and still be able to continue, doing what you need to do so that the business don't die, because if the business die, my friend, then you need to start over again and you have time for that.
Um, looking back now, what was the most powerful mindset shift that helped you grow both your business and yourself?
Yeah, it is actually a really tough one. I think, hmm, I don't actually, there's a lot of thinking work, but I would basically, okay, let's rephrase the question. Let me see if I can get something in the back of my mind.
Looking back, what was the most powerful mindset shift that helped you, your business, in yourself? When you were like in, how can I say, let's say down and out maybe, or when you saw maybe it could be a brink, it's gonna go down now.
Okay, so I don't have a physical answer for that, but I'm hoping that the answer that I'm giving you is a proper one. Um, I would say having to know what you can control. I think that was my biggest mindset shift, is knowing what you can control and what you can't control, because everything in life I take as this is an obstacle. You need to go through this to see what is greater for you at the end of this journey. So having that, I kind of stayed calm. You bring out, even though I had my emotional mental peace, that kind of kept me going, because I told myself, that this is literally part of my journey, it's a part of my growth, and I took everything I've gone through as part of it. So that was my mindset, just having to say that everything happens for a reason.
Okay. Um, can you give some of the people who want to do modeling? Can you give them a tip what they need to do, how they need to act, what can they? Let's say they don't have money,
Mhm.
but they want to go into that career. Because you have personal experience, how can you advise them?
Personally, guys, you know, life actually comes with money. Everything comes with money. I won't tell you that you should not be having money to go into the modeling agency, but what I can tell you is the way you present yourself. First of all, I think that is the most important thing for any model. So kind of give yourself move beautifully, perfectly. I'm not expecting you to be perfect. When you do apply for modeling agencies, you don't need to have an iPhone or a camera. You can take your normal phone, you take your headshots, you
Mm.
take your full body leg pictures, um, without wearing makeup. They want you as natural as possible because I've realized with modeling agencies, they don't actually want beautiful people. They just want different people. They want uniqueness. So, for your example, would
Mm.
be the two bushes here and the one bush here. They look for things that you won't see on everybody's faces.
Oh, okay.
So, take that also in consideration that, you don't have to look like Beyonce Beyonce, you look very beautiful. So you don't have to look like that. I would advise that. Always have your measurements on hand because
Mm.
that's the most important thing when you go for a casting. They will always ask what shoe size are you, what length are you, base size, all those type of things. And then most of the modeling agencies that I've
Mm.
applied for in my previous years, they basically ask a 250 rand. That is your registration, but it
Okay.
also comes with you going there, taking pictures, and they send you your pictures. If you don't have the capital for that, there's always fundraisers for you to do, or like what do we call that? This list we
Mm.
you ask people for like sign up for 1 rand, 2 rand. A lot of 1 rands can make it 250 rand. Guys, you don't always have to charge people 50 rands,
There is
but
going to be 2,500 people. Oh,
you
wondering.
I mean,
Just saying.
people are gonna want to give a 1 rand because in their mind,
Mm.
1 rand is nothing, but if you ask a lot of people, then 1 rand can be a lot. So that is my advice for you.
So we're getting down to the last question. For the people in Atlantis, especially the youth, your piece of advice, what would you give to them?
Take up space, not tomorrow, not next week, not a year from now. Take up space today because you are the change that song. You are the children. Da 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 da. Start giving more of yourself. Start making room for yourself to give away to people because if you don't act today, you won't have a future to act on.
Uh, Thank you, Shane, for being on the podcast. And yeah, guys, please do not forget, please do not like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next episode.